All right, the next lab that you guys are going to perform is going to be called the flame test lab. And what I have here is you have 6 elements, okay? Sodium, potassium, calcium, copper, lithium, and strontium. These 6 elements, I have created a solution that contains each of those metallic ions that's dissolved in water. And then I've soaked wood splints in them so that those metal ions are absorbed into the wood splints. When you come to class and we do this activity, it's not going to take all hour. But what I'll have sitting up my lab day station, I'll have this set of chemicals. Your job will be to rip off a piece of paper toweling and to label it in pen or pencil and have an area, one for each of the different elements. You'll come up, you'll need a forceps, which will be at your lab station, and you'll come by and you'll go ahead and grab one of the chemical compounds from it. Okay? You'll pull one of the wood splints out, and you'll take it back to your station and set at each of the slots. Now, the one key thing is to try to keep it wet. If it tends to dry out, you might have to come back and dip it into the resulting solution to get it wet again so that you can then test its flame test. All right? We're going to be able to identify the presence of these elements based on what color they emit when they are placed into a flame. Okay? The biggest issue students have is they keep it in the flame too long and it dries out. And when it dries out, it starts to glow yellowish orange. Well, it might not be the color of the actual ion, the metal. It might actually be the wood splint burning. So you got to be careful that you don't keep it in the flame too long. Otherwise, you might get a mistaken read on what the actual color is. Another issue with this lab is the fact that the flame is blue. If any of these substances give off light that's either blue or purple, sometimes it's pretty hard to distinguish if that color is the result of the actual element or if it's coming from the flame itself. All right, so I'm going to set this up now and show you an example of one of them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the chemical compounds. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Okay, I'm going to use my forceps. And now I want to insert it into the part of the flame that is the tip of the inner blue cone, because that's the hottest part of the flame. When I do that, immediately you should start to see color rise. Okay? Now if I leave it sit into the flame too long, you'll start to notice that yellow color. Okay? And the problem, as you can see there, is that the flame it's burning. So you want to make sure that when you do this flame test that you see it right away. Initially, you can see at the tip there, you only want to hold it in for a few seconds at a time, and you can see the color. Okay, which in this case, you're seeing that nice reddish color to it. But when it turns that yellow color, that's when the wood splint is burning. So be careful that you don't insert it too long. All right, so then we'll talk about why these elements give off different colors and also how we can use that color then to identify what element is in different things. One example of this would be starlight. When we look at stars, we can tell what elements make up that star because we can analyze the light that it's giving off, the colors of the light they give off, and we know what the substance is. So each of these 6 elements gives off a different color. Now be very descriptive in what type of wording you use to describe them. There are, I know, at least 2 or 3 of these that are on the orange-red spectrum of light that they give off. So be very descriptive in your data tables what color it is. And then I'm going to give you an unknown. You're going to, once you get the 6 of them completed and you've completed the data table of what flame test colors they release, you will then ask for an unknown. I will give you an unknown, and your job is to tell me which one of these 6 elements that unknown is based on the color of light that is given off. And that'll be the lab itself. There'll be some post-op questions I'll have you answer on it, which dictates why these elements give off light, but that's the lab itself. So it's a very quick lab. It's not going to take a ton of time. We'll be doing some other things, including a POGIL activity for the day, but this kind of gets you an idea of what the lab will be. All right? Make sure one key thing with safety, once you light the Bunsen burner, you need to stay at your station. If you go back to grab something off, you should turn the Bunsen burner flame off and relight it again when you're back at the station. We never want to have a flame unattended. Okay, that's when possible issues and safety problems can arise. All right, so thanks for watching, and next time you come to class, you're going to be burning these different compounds and looking at the flame test color should be fun.